Fuck. Abalon is alarmed, and with good reason, since he had fulfilled all the requirements. At the same time, with less than 100,000 points, he had achieved an almost perfect immortal body, the ability to give life and deny reality, the ability to overwrite reality and stop time, the ability to destroy the universe, the ability to make a infinite damage and teleporting in an endless number of parallel dimensions and giving he another form of immortality. Adding the physical capacity of all the stands and that bloodline. No, I cannot allow this. If my superiors find out about this, my retirement is over. I have to somehow prevent this transaction from being carried out. Damn. Who was the bastard who put an option like that? In addition, how can a work of fiction in principle not so overpowered as JoJo, has such unlikely abilities? Oh god, if he takes all these skills for so little, they will deduce it from my salary. Yes, you said it correctly, but you still have to roll the dice. Let's see what the result is, said Abalon, trying to keep calm. Oh right, oh what a spec, please. Let it be a 6, said our MC while holding the dice. Please take out a 1, I could manage a 2, a 3 would fuck me too, but if it's a 4 or higher, goodbye retirement. Our MC threw the dice to the air and the result was 6. Our MC for the euphoria ripped off the shirt and got down on his knees to scream with joy, Seethy. Meanwhile Abalon internally cried blood, no. Sorry, but you cannot keep these skills. Said Abalon quite nervous. Why not? I have said everything perfectly. Why this outrage? Asked OUMC pissed off. Quick Abalon, tell a lie, fast. I am not allowed to leave someone in a reality with the power to destroy all realities at will, and with these powers you would be able to do that and more. Not only would you be killed at the moment of reincarnation, but also me, Abalon said, inventing everything. Really? Our MC said, completely disappointed, frustrated, scared, and with serious doubts about the truthfulness of that official god's words. Seriously, it's for the good of both, choose another power please, said Abalon, who believed that he had already achieved his goal, save his pension. And what do you expect me to buy with a miserable 83,973? You just screwed up the illusion of my life and cancelled a transaction, give me more points as compensation. Demanded our MC giving a punch on the table. I'm sorry, but I cannot give extra points to anyone, it's against the rules, said Abalon, who was telling the truth. Our MC, extremely furious, said, well, you know what? Fuck, I don't care if I die or if you die, I'll keep the powers, it's very likely that thanks to them I can survive the wrath of your superiors. I could even threaten to restart a couple of universes, or even I could negotiate. No. Fuck. NOO. I have no other choice. I must negotiate with this son of a. I will have to spend some of my savings. No, do not do it, you do not know what they are capable of. If they are able to give you those powers they are also capable of taking them away, lies. Look, we can do one thing. I cannot give you points, but as compensation I can give you some similar bonuses, what do you say? Abalon said, radically changing his tone of voice to a friendlier one. Our MC, who seemed to have convinced him, said I don't know, what bonuses would you let me choose? Shit, I said bonuses and no bonus. I'll have to play along if I want him not to ask unnecessary questions, like for asking for the book of rules. Yes, bonuses, at first you said you wanted to choose the reality in which you are going to reincarnate, that if I give you the option to reincarnate in the place you want and in the person you want? Abalon said, trying to please our MC. It seems fine, but, even so it would still be impossible to buy anything useful, and also as I read that option is a single bonus, if only is a bonus. What's the meaning of the word bonuses, said our MC trying to negotiate a better reward. Fuck. It's a hard nut to crack. At least it seems that he has rejected the possibility of taking those skills. What do you think if I give you a discount option of several multipliers? With that you will be able to buy something useful, Abalon said with cold sweat on his forehead, praying to himself that this would not go very expensive. It seems good to me, what if we multiply the base of that discount by my dice result? We can multiply it by 6. I think it's fair, right? Our MC said inquisitively. I think we should. Abalon said, trying to change his mind to our MC, but he was interrupted. If you are not happy I prefer to risk our lives, I'm sorry, I'll die, but you too, choose, said our MC, playing his last card. Fuck, this is going to cost me dearly. However, at this point it does not matter, it's better than nothing. It's okay. I give you an hour to think about it, Abalon said, trying to hide how nervous he was. I have to put an end to this quickly. I cannot allow him to stay longer in case he changes his mind, or my bosses find out what I'm doing. One question. Can I reincarnate in whomever I want in any fictional reality? Asked our MC. That's right, but there are limitations. In the case of reincarnating in a fantasy universe, you can only choose a person who was born in the same year that the protagonist was born or later. Supposing that you choose the Naruto universe, for example, you cannot reincarnate neither in Madara Uchiha or Hagoromo, but you can reincarnate as Naruto or as Sasuke, to give an example, reported Abalon to our MC. I understand. Our MC said while observing the discounts that Abalon had proposed and observed the different rewards. Perfect, with this I am sure that I will be able to take advantage of my second life. I think I have already decided on the person in which I will reincarnate. Now it's time to see what I can add to make it more perfect, and to ensure its proper survival and development. Reality discount, 300% discount x 3000000. Elemental property discount, 300% x 1500000. Discount by author, 300% x 5000000. Discount per character, 300% x 2 million. Discount per organization, 300% x 2500000, etc. Our MC was still observing the options that were in the tablet. Why the Nen is worth only 306,000 and nevertheless, Nen skills like the Guanin Bodhisattva of Isaac Netero are worth 889300000 or the chains of Kurapika are worth 1404000. Asked our MC. Because the Nen as well as the Haki and other powers of this type that are evolutional are worth little if you only buy the Funkomentos to be able to use it, but if you buy a skill Nen in particular, this is accompanied by a mastery of that Nen or the Haki of a specific weighing, then the price is much higher, answered Abalon. Okay, the Juggin will make me run out of energy at birth? Asked the MC once again. No, it will be with you inborn and tied to your genetic code, it will not be done by surgery so you will not need to absorb your energy to implant it, Abalon replied. Perfect, and the Greed Island cards are applicable to all people as if they were players? The MC asked once more. Yes, but if they are for single use you can only use it once, Abalon replied. Perfect, I've already decided. I will apply the discount by author x 300%, that according to what we have agreed will be for 1800%. Damn son of a bitch, he has chosen the most expensive one. Author Yoshihiro Togashi, and what I choose is Yu Yu Hakusho, Juggin 1,080,000, 60,000. Hunter x Hunter, Nen 306,000, 17,000. Hunter x Hunter, Choose Nature Nen, Specialization 54,000, 3,000. Hunter x Hunter, Shinjin Ryu Training Method 58,500, 3250. Hunter x Hunter, Magnetic Force, G at I card, 8,100, 450. Hunter x Hunter, Maluki Zoldyck Hacker, Programmer and Inventing Skills 3,600, 200. Hunter x Hunter, Menchi Culinary Skills 1080, 60. With this I would be missing 13 points, but I don't know what to spend them on. Curious choice, these 13 points I can include them in your Nen ability, it will not improve much but better than nothing, said Abalon. Okay, it's not a bad idea. As for the reality and character in which I want to reincarnate, it will be the universe of Dragon Ball, and the character Broly. However, I have a question. Will be the Broly of the old movies created randomly by Toei Animation or will be the Broly of Akira Toriyama's new canon movie? It's a very interesting question. So, why don't you discover it for yourself and leave me alone? Abalon said while pressing A on. After pressing that button a trapdoor was opened at the feet of our MC, which said a final word of farewell to that kindly god. Bastard. Son of a bitch. Motherfucker. I've finally gotten rid of that bastard, fuck, he's made me lose millions, although it's still better than losing billions. I will not have the golden retirement that I always dreamed, but at least I'll have a silver one. I hope never to see him again, said Abalon while consulting his bank account. If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later, bye bye.